All right, we now have people admitting to what's really going on, but yet they refuse to take responsibility for their own action slash inaction when they could have probably stopped all of this from happening. I'm going to start with New York. Actually, I'm going to do New York in a second because I want to talk about New Orleans and Louisiana, what's going on. Apparently, we have the second highest cases secondary to New York. And we currently have the mayor of New Orleans trying to say that if she would have known it was this bad, if she would have been warned by the federal government, she would have shut down Mardi Gras. Really? Really? So you're telling me that a girl in her house that has internet can figure out that Mardi Gras was a terrible idea, even so much as warning my friends and family not to go, being ostracized by much of my family for even saying such a thing. My kids didn't go. They cried. My daughter, she's a teenager. She cried. I stuck to my guns. And we didn't go. We weren't going to go to New Orleans, but, you know, we have Mardi Gras here too. But here's the thing. These mayors and governors and whatever else, what do we vote for them for? They have no mind of their own? I'm going to put this into perspective for you. See, on February 20th, there was a Mardi Gras ball at the casino here where I live. 200 people were infected with something that they called the norovirus. Could that have been it? Very possibly. But we don't know because they refused to test them for corona. That was February 20th. I did a video about it. Actually, it might have been the day before because my video was on the 20th. So we had that. But yet, they couldn't put two and two together to say, oh, well, you know, because people were freaking out. They were like, is this corona or is it not? Because our first case in the States was back in January. So people were wondering if this was coronavirus. But, you know, the casinos, they keep everything under wraps. Honestly, it very well could have been coronavirus because it was all young people that went to this Mardi Gras ball. It was, I mean, young people, you know, 20s to 40s, essentially. Maybe up to 50s. But everybody that got it, and I do know some people that got it because I kind of questioned it at first because I was like, what are they doing? But I talked to some people and it was a terrible bad flu. So it could have been the norovirus, could have been corona. But either way, that was February 20th, okay? Mardi Gras was February 27th. So if it wasn't bad enough that we already saw China in complete ruins, and knowing that people had flown in from China for weeks before we knew about it, and even up till after we knew about it, the mayor is trying to get you to believe that she would have shut down Mardi Gras if she would have thought this was worse than what it really is. After 200 people in one night at one Mardi Gras ball got sick of what could have very well been coronavirus in Lake Charles, which is only 2 hours from New Orleans. Is that how dumb they want you to think either they are or that we are? I'm not sure, but I'm going to show you the ridiculous things she's saying. She's now blaming the president for her inactions. Should she have shut down Mardi Gras? I don't know. That's not my call. I'm not the mayor. but my kids sure wouldn't have gone. My family and friends, I warned them, because there are tens of thousands, if not millions, of people that come in and out of New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Okay? And I said, well, that's going to be the petri dish. I said, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because people are getting on planes and going here and going there and whatever else. Anyway, I'm going to show y'all that in a minute. Then we have Governor Cuomo actually being responsible and saying, you know, in hindsight, we're seeing that what we did was a little rash and there was no art form to it. I'm going to show y'all that. But, you know, those of us that were ostracized this entire time saying, oh no, it's way worse. Wait for 2 weeks. It's going to be, people are going to be dropping dead everywhere. Dropping dead. And then you were responsible for telling these people that it's not that big of a deal. For calling these people on the beach, these teenagers on the beach, heroes. And I said, whatever, because they are. Because they're not the ones getting infected. And if we just looked at Italy, we saw that as soon as they locked everybody down, the cases went higher. But yet they kept them locked down. And now their cases are still getting higher. Yes, Italy is completely different than here, but the fact is we can see that locking down young people that would normally be outside in the sun, you know, where it can be killed in the sun and with UV light, would be a lot less dangerous than locking them all in a big apartment building where I'm sure they're having parties, they're all sharing the same air, they're doing all of these things, but they want us to believe that they didn't know that these people that you elected, that we pay with our tax dollars, weren't smart enough to see this. That they overreacted, probably causing the destruction of thousands of small businesses, millions of jobs already, at least 3 million jobs have been lost due to this. But they're, you know, well, you know, we were, yeah, we didn't, what? No, they knew. They knew. And now they're trying to pass the buck, and it's disgusting. And so for all of you people that still believe that, oh no, it's coming, wait another week. Wait another week. Yeah, we'll wait more weeks. If they lock everybody up, it might go up. And it would. Let's take a look at some of these articles that are just mind-boggling. And this needs to be shared, y'all. These people are trying to back out of it and not take responsibility for the nonsense that they have caused, these calamities in people's lives. We've already seen suicides from it, from this hysteria. That is never the right decision, but I mean, it's what we've seen. I mean, and this whole time I tried to keep people calm, but people wanted to be freaked out. They wanted to be freaked out. I don't understand it, but it's psychological. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get on with them backpedaling. And again, you need to share this because people need to know that just because the government says, oh crap, everybody freak out, doesn't mean, oh crap, everybody freak out. And just because they say, don't worry, everything's fine, that usually means it's time to look at things in a rational manner. Like not taking your children to Mardi Gras. You see? Whenever you're this is why I say do not watch mainstream media. Read it. Because when you watch it, you can feel it, and they've done studies on it. People's blood pressure goes up Or it goes down whenever they're feeling, oh, everything's good. It's good. Everything's good. That, the media tells us so. Read it. Because these people in mainstream media are trained, highly trained in psychological operations. If they're told to tell you something, they know exactly how to do it, what to say, and how to get you in that emotional state of no longer using logic to believing you're using logic when you're actually using feelings. Okay, let's get on with their nonsense. Alright, first let me show you this reminder of the norovirus outbreak tied to Louisiana casino left more than 200 people sick. That was February 10th. Okay? February 10th. When Mardi Gras, and people were like, oh, could this be corona? Oh no. See, the virus is not to be confused with coronavirus. But people were like, oh my gosh, what if it is? And so this was already a concern 17 days before Mardi Gras. Let's see. New Orleans mayor. The mayor of coronavirus-plagued New Orleans took a shot at Trump, saying the city would have canceled Mardi Gras if the federal government would have taken the outbreak seriously. Oh, look at this garbage. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell defended her decision not to cancel. She defended her position. Oh my gosh. She's going to defend it, but then blame someone else. This is insanity. She put a decision not to cancel the city's Mardi Gras festivals earlier this year when coronavirus had already been ravaging the U.S. Exactly. She told CNN that if the outbreak had been taken seriously at the federal level, why does it need to be at the federal level, Mayor? You should be fired. I mean, whatever they do, should be taken out of office. You're too irresponsible to make your own decision. We have states' rights. We have local rights. I mean, it's Mardi Gras. It's not... Oh my goodness, y'all. You see how ridiculous this is? Now that they're seeing, oh crap, things are starting to flatten out. What are we going to do? So she's going to get in front of this by throwing shade at the federal government? That makes no sense. Why would the federal government even have been... I'm mind-boggled, y'all. Louisiana has grown to be one of the virus epicenters of the U.S., with Orleans Parish having the most per capita cases in the country. As of Friday, 83 people died from COVID-19 in the state, where there's more than 2,300 positive cases. The mayor of New Orleans blame Trump's administration for her decision not to cancel this year's Mardi Gras, which led to a spike in coronavirus cases. I absolutely believe this is exactly what led to these cases. And let me be clear, I support the kids out on the beach. That's a completely different environment than this. This is usually at night. This isn't, what we've talked about. Heat, UV will kill this. Not inside bars and standing so close to people. I'm sure you've all seen pictures of New Orleans from Mardi Gras. Everybody's right next to each other. People fly in from all over the world for this. She should have been the first person. I specifically said it. I'm not a mayor. I'm not a genius. This would have been the first thing. But no. No red flags were given, she says. Oh, you mean the 200 people that got norovirus at a casino 2 hours away from you wasn't a red flag? Because people were scrambling. They didn't know if this was corona or if it was really just the norovirus. And we still don't, because none of them were tested. this lady, Latoya Cantrell, on why the city moved forward with Mardi Gras celebrations. Rather than taking the blame for this, she can blame Trump if she wants and blame the federal government, but she also needs to take responsibility for this. But she's not. This is how much these fools are just so out of touch. She's out of touch. Louisiana, New Orleans needs an additional 1,000 ventilators. Maybe you should have canceled Mardi Gras. When it's not taken serious on a federal level, it's very difficult to transcend down to a local level in making these decisions, she said. But when experts told me that social gatherings would be an issue, I moved forward with canceling them after Mardi Gras. They made sure Mardi Gras went off without a hitch, even though people like myself and my father, just he doesn't have a channel or anything, but we were warning people, hey, Mardi Gras, not a good idea. Even my father asked his doctor, what do you think about Mardi Gras? Oh, no. She said no. Nobody should be going there. That's a terrible idea. So if random doctor over here, 2 hours away from New Orleans, knows this, y'all are going to believe? I'm sure most of my viewers aren't, but that's why this needs to be shared. When Blitzer asked if it's correct to say that the federal officials made no suggestion that the event should be canceled, Cantrell responded, that's absolutely correct. And it was backed up by the response of our national leader, she says, meaning the president. Look, Mayor, the president, and this goes for any local body, the president and the federal level has essentially nothing to do with what you do. That's why we have the 10th Amendment. They can't have their finger on the pulse of everything going on. This is irresponsible, and you refuse to take responsibility for your ignorance. Even if she wouldn't have shut it down, she could have said, look, this is a situation, and we should very much be concerned about it. But she didn't even do that. When there was people like myself saying this. And I'm not saying that, oh, I'm awesome. I'm saying somebody just on their cell phone realizing the situation. But you're telling me that she doesn't have a team of people that can say, hey, this is probably not a good idea. Of course not. This is the big money maker of the year. They don't care. They don't care that you died. Your family member died. I'm sorry. They don't. And they're trying to pass the buck on this. In hindsight, if we were given clear direction, why do you need clear direction? You are the mayor of a major U.S. city. If you cannot handle logic, then you need to go. And then they show this goofy picture right here. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Even if he would have declared something, it did not matter. You, as a local representative, should have seen the writing on the wall, as many of us did. But whenever you don't do anything for your state or your city, that makes people feel good. That's why people were attacking me, my own dang family, calling me a psychopath. Oh, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy this, you're a conspiracy that. I'm like, I'm looking at the facts. And the facts say, why in the world would you go to a place with hundreds of thousands of people half-dressed, sneezing, coughing, drinking after each other, 1.4 million tourists. Wow, exactly. This is how ridiculous. You don't have to... I'm stunned, y'all. I really am. And people need to ensure that she takes responsibility for this. it does not matter what the president said. It doesn't matter. I mean, the governor should be involved too. He's at fault too. Absolutely. And right now, Florida is pulling over anyone with New York plates or Louisiana plates and quarantining them, as they should be. I completely agree with it. Oh, but that's draconian. Why? Because they're trying to keep their city safe, because their state safe whenever ours didn't. We've got New Yorkers fleeing their draconian. Yeah, it sucks. But like I've said, I stand by states' rights. I stand by our Constitution. I don't pick and choose our constitutional, which ones I support. Our 10th Amendment is very important, and I've spoken about this in many videos. Okay, now let's get to... I mean, she's just doing this. We were not given warning, New Orleans mayor. I mean, this is all over the place. She's trying to get in front of this because she sees that, oh crap, people are starting to realize that I was ignorant in this situation. But let me explain, y'all. During Mardi Gras, it's like the mayors and the local people are treated like royalty, because they get to dress up and they're like the queen of the Mardi Gras. Like, it's so ridiculous. And so this is a prideful nonsense thing. Now let's check out what Cuomo admitted. Oh, also, before I get to that, y'all, this is gold. Dr. Fauci, corona death rate likely like very bad flu. Considerably less than 1%. Yes, this is the same Dr. Fauci that stands with President Trump every day. He's trying to backpedal this now, but this is, although he's not, he's trying to talk outside both sides of his mouth. But as a doctor, or what, I mean, he nailed it right here. And now people are, the left are freaking out on him. So he's going on every YouTuber's channel and all of these things and having interviews with them. I mean, so silly. But check this out. Taking into account the unreported cases, they conclude that overall clinical consequences of COVID-19 may ultimately be more akin to those... Oh, crap. Sorry, y'all. My phone is literally freaking out. I dropped it, and... All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what Governor Cuomo just finally revealed. And it's quite amazing. Makes us vindicated.
But, Christopher, there is an art form here, which is overlaying a public health strategy and an economic strategy. In other words, what we did is we just closed everything down as quickly as we could. Just shut all the doors, border all the windows. Mm-hmm. There was no art to what we did. There was no nuance. Is there a public health strategy that says, look, you can start to bring young people back to work? You can start to test and find out who had the virus and who resolved from the virus, and they can start to go back to work. And that's how we'll restart the economy, with a smart public health strategy, because closing the door on everyone was only because we didn't know better, right? If you now look at it, it didn't make any sense to close the schools, send my kids home with me, or older people, or with grandmothers who were vulnerable to this virus, and young people were then maybe bringing it into the house.
So yes, they overreacted, they went too far, and now people are freaked out. Y'all go out, have fun, stop being freaked out. That's what they want. It's silly. Alright, thanks guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. Again, please share this. people need to understand, just because they're saying to freak out doesn't mean to freak out. Actually, normally, when all mainstream media are all on the same page, and I've said this so many times, but I'm going to continue saying it in case there's new people around. When they say that, oh my gosh, look over here, you better be looking over there, because that's really what's going on. And we saw this, how quickly these people are backpedaling the day after the stimulus package was planned. Planned. Freudian slip, I guess, was passed. They're able to do it now because they got what they wanted. They got their money. It's sad, and we should continue to fight it. We should not allow them to just keep bailing out these big corporations while small businesses go under. And while people get freaked out, all these little kids getting freaked out because, oh my gosh, why am I not going to school? And their parents being irresponsible, not really explaining it to them and listening to the media saying, I don't know, lock it down, lock it down. I mean, I'm not picking on anyone here, but I was warning my daughter's friends and all of these people. I said, look, this is happening, but it's not. And you should probably explain this to your parents. I know they're probably not going to listen to you. And all these parents were letting their kids go and do whatever while we were preparing and making sure we got everything together. And now their parents have gotten into this media hysteria and they're locked down in their houses. These teenagers can't leave their houses. That's what the media's for. It's an unfortunate fact. They're not here to inform you of anything. They can, by reading the articles. You can tell a staunch difference when you're reading the articles and then when you go to listen to them. You're like, wait, what? I just read the article, and read the entire thing. Sometimes you need to even just jump to the bottom because that's where they had the good stuff. Like, well, it's not really that serious. Whatever the case may be. But these people need to be held responsible for their inaction and in their irresponsibility of making these small businesses lose their jobs and then trying to pass the buck on the president, even though he technically actually did the right thing the entire time. Am I supporting the stimulus situation that was passed? No. But in this, he absolutely called it. He said, yeah, it's a nothing burger. I mean, we need to be careful, and that's what it is. Local, state governments should do whatever they need to, and they decided not to. Like the mayor of New Orleans. And she should be held accountable. It's funny. It really reminds me of what went down during Hurricane Katrina, when that mayor sat there and told the entire world that he was getting buses and getting people out of there when he was not. But everybody blamed Bush for it, which they warned them. They said, look, if anything happens, they cannot go in. It's going to be too dangerous. He, with a straight face, told all of those residents in New Orleans, it's fine, you'll be fine. Or he was saying, we've got buses. He didn't have no buses. He had a couple, but he lied. He lied to them. And then everybody's like, oh, it was Bush that let these people drown. Well, no, not really. They could not send their planes. They didn't even know what was going on. This has never happened before. I mean, Bush is guilty for a lot of things, and Katrina was a big disaster. But this New Orleans mayor situation is quite reminiscent of that time. Because I know people say Louisiana is infected. Oh my gosh. Even Florida is stopping Louisiana residents and quarantining them if they go to Florida. But almost every single case is in the New Orleans area. Almost every single one. which makes sense. They had Mardi Gras. Even if the patients that did succumb to this or that did get infected with this didn't go to Mardi Gras, the nurses, the people, the rad techs, the people that do x-rays, the people that work in the hospital, even, janitors, whatever the case may be, they likely did. And this is what we warned about. We said, hey, while things are not exactly known, how about you stay out of large gatherings? I said, don't go to Disney World. Don't go to Mardi Gras. Don't go here. But people think they know better. And now we're in this situation. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.